Today we're going to work with two software. One is R Studio and then QGIS. So I would like to know how many people have already installed. You can type one in the chat if you already installed the two software. Okay, I don't think anybody has installed the software, or we have to install it now. Okay, so let me share my screen starting with R, okay? So on the top part, uh, installing on Windows PC. So you start with installing R before you go to R Studio. So I'm going to put this link in the chat, and then just go there and copy that link, and then I think that will take you to the website where you can download that one. Let's start with that one first, because you need the base R, and then this what I've just pasted up for those who have Windows. So I'm also going to do for those who have Mac operating system. Okay, so on top, we're installing ARA for those who have Windows, and then the bottom, installing ARA for those who have Mac. So you can click on that, and then the rest will just follow instruction after downloading. So it's really straightforward. So I'm going to give this 5 minutes. It depends on the speed of your computer. Okay, so let me also go down for paperwork installing Mac. Okay, when you're done with installing the ARA core, you need to also install the ARA Studio. That's what we'll be using. ARA Studio cannot work by itself. ARA has to be installed first. So I'm going to paste this in the chat. So when you're done installing your base ARA, you have to install ARA Studio. Well, some say they have QGS 3.34 and ARA 4.5. That's okay. If you already installed, that's okay. This is the installation of those who did not install at all. Okay, so I'm going to give you another 5 minutes to install RS Studio. Then we'll start at 4:20. We'll start the class, okay? We're going to work with RF first, and then when you're done, then we'll go and install QGIS. Because we have to install QGIS, it's going to take us some time. So let's just install our Studio, and then we start the lecture. And when we reach QGIS, then we're going to install QGIS, okay? So let's just install the ARA and ARA Studio for now. So I'm going to give you another 4 minutes, then we'll start the lecture for today.
I would suggest the participants, as we start the lecture, you can let QGIS download in the background. It takes a bit of time. It's a little bit big. So I would suggest that you we start the lecture, but start the download for QGIS. And I think the link has been shared with everyone for the QGIS. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start. Again, good evening, good morning, or good afternoon, whenever you are. So today is our third day. We're going to to discuss at least two open source tools that are always used in agriculture when you're doing AI. Okay, so there are very many tools out there, but some are very expensive. So R Studio, then QGIS. They are free, they're open source, even though sometimes have a steep learning curve. So for today, we're going to cover introduction to R and R Studio. We're going to see types of data that's used in agriculture. So we're going to at least cover two methods of AI or machine learning. There's regression and then there's classification. We're going to cover that and we're going to introduce QGIS. Okay. Let's see. So what's R Studio? R Studio came maybe around 10 years ago. Before that, we were using R. So it's basically an integrated development environment. Sometimes people call it IDE for R. It has four windows. It has console, it has editor, it has where you can uh, do files, and there's a lot of things. And it can plot, you can see your history, what you've been doing, and then you can also debug and so forth. So it's available in two uh, forms. One is commercial, which are a little bit expensive, and then the open source one. So commercial ones are always paid by universities, uh, but the open source, if you know how to use it, you don't need the commercial one. Okay. And another thing with Air Studio is platform independent. What do I mean by that? I mean, you can install it on your Windows, you can install it on Mac, or you can install it on Linux. Some software are made specifically for Windows, some are made for Mac, and some are made for Linux. But R is and R Studios, those two are uh, you can install them on any of these platforms. Okay, so this is a link that will take to R Studio, but we already covered that. So another thing that I would like you to know, R Studio cannot work by itself. That's why we're installing first R, and then after that we install R Studio. Okay. But when you're running R Studio, of course, R is running in the background. So when you open R Studio, it has four windows. Uh, I will show you because most of the time, sometimes I have only three or two, but there's a reason for that. So there are four windows when you open like this. The first window on your upper left is the script editor. So script basically is R programming language. You can type your script here, and then when you're done, you hit run. But you can also import your script that's already been written. We're going to use that that's already been written, and then you can run that. The, the good thing with the script editor, after writing your script, you can save it and it becomes your program. Basically, this part is used for what? It's used for scripting. Then you have console. So people have used R before. This is basically how R looks like. So this is the console. It's whatever you've done. If you run, it will appear here. And then this one, when you can use it also, but you don't have to click run. You just have to click your enter key uh, for those who have Windows, and then your return key for those who have Mac. Okay. And then also on this, we have other windows like the terminal, but we're not going to use that. So we're going to use that as the console.
Uh, uh, Doctor, are you
But
sharing like the screen? Is it moving? Because I see we have the same
is it the same screen?
seems not be moving.
So
We
is it
still
not
have the screen for the installation.
okay? So let me share here. In fact, sorry about that. So let me share my screen here. You cannot see my screen, Dr. Jimmy. You
Yes,
cannot
the
see the
screen
slide.
is visible.
Okay, sorry about
Yes, yes,
that.
it's learning objectives. Yes.
Okay, so let me go to the first slide here. So our topic for today is is our third day is practical tools and data sets for agriculture and AI. Okay, so our line objectives are we're going to introduce R Studio. We're going to talk about the type of data used in agriculture. We're going to give two examples for machine learning. Machine learning, remember when I talked about that on Monday, we said that two methods of machine learning. One is regression and one is classification. So we're going to cover regression and we're going to cover logistic regression. And then after that, we're going to introduce QGIS. Okay. So what's R Studio? R Studio is just an integrated development environment. Some people call it IDE for R. So it includes console, includes syntax editor, and others that we'll cover later. So what can it do? It can plot for you graph. It can give you history of how you've been programming or have you been using R. You can also debug. Debugging means you can, when you have some errors in your script, it can help you to discover where that error is. And it's available in two forms. Open source, that's we're going to uh, discuss today, and then the commercial. The commercial ones, editions are really, really expensive because you have to have a server. Remember, Ohio State has a commercial version. I think they pay like $60,000 a year, which is a lot of money. But the open source one, the free one, is you don't have to pay. Another good thing with RStudio is platform independent. What do I mean by that? It runs on Windows, it runs on Mac, and run on Linux. Sometimes you have a software that can only run on Windows or can only run on Mac or Linux. But the good thing with RStudio, uh, it's a platform independent. Another thing with RStudio is you cannot run RStudio by itself. It is has to be running. You have to install R first. That's what we were doing. Sometimes students install RStudio and they try and start running because RStudio is just an easy way of working with R. Okay. So when you open RStudio, excuse me, you'll have these four windows, and each window has its own uh, purpose. The first one is script editor. It's on your upper left corner. Here you can type your script, or you can import the script. Okay. And then when you want to run it, you just highlight what you want to run and then click on run. And then you get your results. Okay. The good thing is when you type your work here, is that you can save it. Okay. The second window is called ARA console. So ARA console basically is like you're running Windows without ARA Studio. You're running ARA on Windows or ARA on Mac. So here, when you type something, to get your result, you just have to enter uh, on Windows, and then for Mac, you have to click on Return key. Another thing with console, whatever is being done here, after running, it will all appear here. Okay. And then here you have workspace and history. So anything that you do on either the other script or console it will appear here. So that if you want to save it, you just move it to the script and then save it as your program. And then you also have the workspace. The workspace will help you to, one, to import files, and two, it tells you after importing files, how many rows and how many columns do you have. And then the last but not least is you have the view, the help, the plots, and the manage package. We'll work with it. So if you click on files, it will show you all the files that you have on your computer. If you click on the plot, it will show the plot that you have plotted. And if you want to install packages, you click on packages, and we'll work on that. And then the help tells you about anything about any package that you need. You just type the name of the package and you put a question mark, then it'll give you some information. This is how ARA Studio looks. Okay, but before we go and start exploring ARA Studio, I need to introduce you to uh, something called objects in ARA. So when you're in console, you'll always see this greater than sign. So this greater than sign tells you that your ARA Studio is ready to be used. Okay. And then when you're writing your script, you can use this hash here. So that ARA, anything that has an hash here, ARA will not run because it just sees that as a comment. So sometimes when you're writing your script or your program, it is good to put some information, okay, that this is what this one does, so that when somebody you share your code or script with somebody, they understand exactly what's doing. Okay. Another thing that I would like to show is called object. So when you're working in ARA, you have to save your work somewhere. So this object, to save your work, to assign it to what you're working on, you assign it to what's called object. For example, we'll do that when we open ARA Studio. You want to put this number 2 in a test. So you can use this assignment or you can use equal. But I always discourage people when they're using R to use equal, because when you start writing programs, sometimes this equal, you find it in your program. So I always encourage people to use this assignment operator, which is less with a dash. Okay. So when you're creating your objects, which is basically like a container in ARA, there are certain rules that you have to follow. Okay. So those rules, if you don't follow them, then it will not work. Okay. So for example, I want to put these two and the object is test. So I put here, if I type test, it will give me 2. And I want to put this is the same, but if now one is RSS is case sensitive. If your object was written with a capital T as the first letter, and then now you want to see the results and you type the first position with small t, it will not work. So that's the problem that we always get into, because ARA is case sensitive. Okay. Another sign that I would like to introduce is this small sign here. Let's see. It's called concatenated sign. So if you want to put more than one uh, variable in your objects, you have to put them in bracket and use C. And then if you want to see what's contained in the test object, you just type test and you enter. Okay. So these are the rules. Object cannot contain any string symbol like exclamation mark, a plus, and a minus. Okay. If you have those in any of the naming, you're going to get error. For example, if I put test here, this will work. But if I put test with an exclamation mark, it will not work. It will say that there's an error here. The error came because you use what? You use a symbol to name your object. Okay? And then the name can take a dot. For example, here we're using a dot to name. It can also take an underscore. But it cannot start with a number. It cannot start with a number. So for example, here we have test underscore one. That will work if you name your object like that. But if you put one and then test, it will not work. Okay? So this is an example. We're putting 1 to 7 in the test underscore one. If you type, you get one. Again, we are putting the same, but now we have a number, and the number as part of our object. This will work because this number is not at the beginning. Okay? Now, if we do the same, and now we start with 1 as the name of the object, we will not be successful. So we will get this error, unexpected symbol. Okay? Okay, I think I've already explained this. Okay. Next, we're going to talk about packages. So when you install R and OR Studio, they come with some packages that you don't have to install them. But most of the time, you have to install what's called packages. This is basically a library. So to do that, you can use this install.packages, and then your package has to be in quote. Okay? And then when you've installed the package, before you use it, you have to call it back. And to load that, you use a library with the name of a package. So for example, we'd like to use this package called dplyr. Dplyr doesn't come pre-installed in your R Studio. So if you want to use it, first thing you have to do is to install it first. And then when you want to use it, you call that package, and it's how to call it, you use a library, and then you put it in bracket. So the difference when you're installing, it has to be double or single port. But when you want to use it, you don't have to put any port. Okay? Another easiest way of installing the package is through RStudio. So when you're installing the package, you have to make sure that you're connected to the internet. So for example, if you don't want to type the script, you just click on install, and then you click on the package, and then you type the name of the package here, and then you install. That is the easiest way to do it. Okay? So what I'm going to do now, for those who have installed RStudio, we're going to do some practice, okay? So what I would like you to do is now go and open your RStudio. Dr. Jimmy, do you see my RStudio uh, with 4 windows?
Yes, I can see it.
Yeah. So I would like you people who have already installed to open your RStudio. Some of you will have only 3 windows, and I will show you how to go to the 4 windows. So let me give you a minute here. You should see something like this, or something with 3 windows that I'll explain. I'll make you make the 4 windows. So this is my script window. Okay, you can type your script here. This is the console. We have terminal. This is like people are using Linux, and you have background job, but for this, we're going to use only the console. So we're going to do some practice here. So we're going to use the script editor. So we're going to
Even those who have three windows, what
okay, good.
do you want
So when you have three windows, when you have three
let's
windows,
proceed with three windows.
okay, so if you have three windows, follow me. Go up and then near adding, there you have four kind of like four blocks. If you click on it, it says workspace pane. You click on that and click on show all, show all. Okay, let me go back again. So on top, there's this kind of like a square with four blocks. You click on that and click show all pane. And then now you can just adjust your windows. So those who have three windows, have you succeeded? Just type one in the chat. Go to this and then click on that. And then you just have to adjust it. Okay? So we're going to type, this is going to be our object test. We're going to put 2 in that test. So we are assigning, this is our object. We are putting 2 in that by using less than with a dash. So what you do, if you highlight that and run, you can see that other console, what you have done here is already here too. And then the history will show exactly what's going on. Okay. And then your environment also will tell you that the test has a value of 2. So what happen, how do you see the item that has been put in object 2? You can just type test and run. If you run, you see at the bottom at console, it will give you 2. So whatever you do here, the results is shown at the bottom. Okay? Further question? Someone said, I don't have the 3 windows. You have to have 4 windows. If you don't have the 4 windows, do exactly what I did. Bring your cursor here and click on show all panes. And then it should give you your 4 windows. Okay? So this is our first programming. You did that. Okay. We can also do the same. Instead of using that assignment, we can do just equals to. Let me just put test underscore 1. So this equal sign and this one, they do the same thing. But I always discourage people to use this one here, because when you do programming, sometimes when inside your script or in your program, you have to use is equal sign. So when I run, and then if I want to see what's inside there, it will give me 2. But to be consistent, at least especially for you people, just use this assignment, the assignment symbol to save your data there. Okay. Next, we're going to try and see if we can follow the rules. So we're going to do the same. We're going to put 1. So our object is going to start with the 1. And then here we're going to put 5 into that. So let's try to run and see what happens. You see here, we look at the console. It said error, unexpected symbol in one.test. It's not working because we're starting our name of object with a number. So let's put this 1, let's put it at the end, okay? If you run that, now it's working because 1 is not at the beginning. So now if you type this 1 and you run it, it'll give you 5. Okay. So that is the first rule. The second rule is error is very uh, case sensitive. So assume somebody want to find out what is contained in test one, and you type this. Everything the same except the first letter is not capital. So if you run that, you'll get an error. See the error object test one not found, because when you created this test one and put 5 in, the first letter was a capital letter. So, but here now you're breaking the rules. You're using small letter. Okay. So let's do another one. We'll do class. I'm going to put names here. So when you're using characters, you have to put a quote in characters. Okay. So when I run this, and then when I type class, I give it a name and say Steven and Jimmy. Okay. So this is how you can use your what? Your editor. But most of the time, you don't have to write this. Somebody's already written for you the program. So what you do, you go to file and import. But before I do that, I want to save this. So I would encourage you to go to file and save as. Save it in any place. I'm going to call it practice one. So I've saved this. So this now after saving it becomes my program. So if I go away, I can even shut my R Studio. When I want to use it next time, I go to File, open File, I go to look for it, and then right now I can run everything. Since we don't have this, let me put a hash. I can just run everything. So this is now my program. Before I was typing, but after changing it becomes your program. Okay. So that's how to use the script editor. But what we have done up here, we can also do it here. The only difference is if you type here, you will not be able to save it. You will not be able to save it. And after when you get out of your R Studio, that you're done. You will not be able to save it. So it's always advisable to work from here. Let me give an example here. So when you type like that, you don't have to run it. You just have to enter your key, your enter key, and then you just type, enter again, give you the value too. Okay. So environment will cover that when you go to install, when we're going to, when we cover how do you import your data, we'll cover that. Even on this side, we'll cover that. Okay. So next, we're going to create what's called a project, because when you're working in R environment, in R Studio, it will be easier for you that when you open your computer, you call your R Studio, it takes you to exactly where you're going to be. By default, when you open your R Studio, it will take you to home. But sometimes you're not working with home. You're not working in the home directory. Then it's good to have a project for you so that when each time you open your R Studio, you'll be in that, you'll take that project. So I'm going to go back, I'm going to go back to, I'm going to go back to the slides. I'm going to show you how to create a project, and then we'll come back and you create your own project together. Okay? So let me go back to the slide here. So when you're creating your project, you come to File, you can click on New Project. Okay? After clicking on New Project, it'll give you a window. Then you select New Directory. After that, you select New Project. And then you have to browse because I want a project to be on a desktop. You click on the browse, you select the desktop, and then you open your desktop. You select your desktop, open the desktop, and then in this window here, you type, we're going to call our project AI_training, and then you create. For creating the project, you see something like this. So you can see you have home, you have desktop, and you have AI training. And in that folder, you have AI_training.r project. Okay? I'm going to repeat again, and then we'll do it, all of us will do it together. So we want to have a project that we'll use today, we'll use it tomorrow, and we'll use it Friday. To create that project, you go to File, click on New Project. Okay? And that will take you to New Directory. You click on that, will give you New Project. Okay. And then instead of writing the name of the project here, I would like us to create our project on the desktop. You click on Browse, you select the desktop, and you click Open. Okay. And then now in this window, you can type AI_training and you create. After creating that, it will kick you back to the R Studio. It will look something like this. And most of the time you have only 3 windows. Go back again and do what we did so you can have the 4. And then when you go to your desktop, you'll see that there's a folder that has been created. So I created that folder and I named it AI_training. And when you open that folder, you will see that AI_training.r project will be there. Okay, so we're going to go back to R Studio. We're going to do we're going to do this together. Okay. So if you want to clean up all the windows that are always encouraged, you just minimize that. And then for your console, to clean it up, you go to Edit, Clear Console, and everything will go. Okay, let me start again. For your R script window, you can either just minimize or you just let it, or you click on it and it will go. Okay. But for console, because every time you do anything here, it will going to appear on console where your results will come. Go to Edit and Clear Console. And then for the environment and history, see this small broom here? So if you click on the small broom, it will ask you, are you sure you want to remove all the objects from environment? You say yes, everything will go. Even the history, use the small broom here. It asks you the same question, you click yes, everything is gone, okay? But this one is not, it's not very always advisable to remove your files, but if you want to, you click on what you want to remove and you delete it, okay? And then for plot, if already plotted, there's also another broom. Okay, so let's start with creating our projects, okay? So we're going to click on File, click on New Project, and we'll get these three here: New Directory, Existing Directory, or Version Control. So click on New Directory, you select a project, and then you browse. Mine was desktop, you open. So now you type AI underscore training, and then you click create project. I've already created mine, so I'm not going to create that. Let me do something. For you have to AI underscore training, but I've already created that for myself. So to show you what happens, I'm going to put underscore A. Don't put underscore A. For you, you just put AI underscore training and click on create. But me already created this, so I'm going to create something totally different. Then put underscore B, and I click on create. Okay, see what happened? It kicked all the 4 windows and then gave me 3 windows. So to go back to 4 windows, I have to click on this and show all panes. Then I get my 4 windows back. And then here you can see, now I have home, have desktop, and have AI underscore training underscore B. But for you, it should be AI underscore training. And then you have this AI underscore training, that these objects here. Okay. So if you want to see what's inside in the folder, you can now go to your desktop and you'll find the one you've created. So this is mine here. It has here. Okay. So I'm going to repeat. What I'm going to do is I'm going to delete my underscore, my folder. So we do it again together. Okay. Clear this. Okay. So we're going to create our project. Okay. So follow me here. We're going to go to File, File, New Project. Okay. Select New Directory. Select New Project and browse. Go select your desktop and open and type AI training, AI underscore training. And you click create project. Okay. So when it's done, you have only 3 windows. Again, you go back here and show all pane. And then here you'll see under file, you see your home, your desktop, and the AI training that you have created. And then in this folder, you have AI underscore training.r project. Okay. So now I'm going to go back to desktop. So this is the one that I just created here. So if we're done with that, then we can move on. Okay. So whatever we're going to do now is going to be under that AI underscore training. To this slide here. Okay, so we have created our folder called AI underscore training. So I would like you to go to Google Drive and download for me all these files, and then put those files in AI underscore training folder. So I'm going to paste the Google Drive. I'm going to paste the Google Drive on the chat. I would like you to go and download these files. So you have crop underscore recommendation CSV. You have Kenya Agri Disease Special .csv, then Excel, then DTA, and then SAS, and then ASV. And then also download crop underscore recommendation with XLS. Okay? And put all those files in the folder we just created, AI underscore training. So when you're done, when you're done downloading this, we'll go back and download our script. Okay? Let me give you at least 2 minutes to do that. Okay, let's move on. If you have downloaded these files from the Google Drive, can you type one in the chat to make sure that at least we have, okay, good. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to talk about how do you load your data into R. So if you go to environment, you click on environment, that we'll do together, you'll see import data sets. And under that, it tells you that you can import form text based. So this is basically a text file. You can import comma separated value using read.r. You can import Excel file. You can import SSP file, SAS, and Stata. So the good thing with R, you can import all these files that are used in statistical analysis from other packages. Okay. So we're going to import those files together, the ones that you just downloaded. Okay. So when you import the files, when you click on import the files, by default, the name of that file will become the name of your object by default, unless you want to change it. So it's always advisable that to be consistent, the name of your file, let's be the name of your object. Okay. Like we are importing crop underscore recommendation.csv. So the name will become, so this will be automatically, this RCD will write for you. Then when you click import, you get something like this. On the environment will tell you the type of the rows and columns. So like this data has 240 rows and 10 columns, these are variables. And on the left where there's a script editor, you'll see the information about the files. Okay. And then at the operation, at the console, you'll see what has happened. Okay. Let me repeat. So you can import data to RStudio using environment. Click on your environment. It will give you import data sets. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can import 6 different types of data set. You can import a text file. You can import a comma separated value CSV file. You can import Excel. You can import SPSS. You can import SAS or Stata. After importing any of those in R, they become an object. So you can import a Stata file, then you save it in Excel file. So we'll also see how you export the file. So that's the beauty of R. So assume you have somebody who's working with in Stata or in SAS. They can give you that file. Even you don't have the scale in SAS or Stata, you can get those files, import them in ARA and use them. So that's the beauty of that. Okay. Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to ARA Studios. And we're going to import some files. Okay. So let me go back to ARA Studio. And we're going to do that together because you already have that file in your folder. Okay. So you're going to import. But before you import, you have to install the package. But all this comes with their packages. Okay. So this is what is going to happen for you. When you click one of those, ARA will ask you to install the package automatically. Okay. So mine will not do that because I've already installed the software. I've already installed it. When I installed the software, I went ahead and installed all the packages that I need. But for you attendees, you just install ARA Studio, and we need to install all the packages for this. Okay. So how do you do that? Okay. So I'm going to show you how to do it. So we're going to go back to ARA Studio. So we need package for base. We need read ARA. We need Excel. So instead of just going to write the script, I'm going to use this package here. See, we have file, plus, and packages. The easiest way would be click on Click on packages and click on install. And then you put the name of package that you want to install, okay? So the first one we're going to install is readr. If you click on that, it will appear, and you have to be connected to the internet. Click on install. It will run. When you look at the console, when it's done, it will tell you the downloaded binary packages are in this folder. Okay? So let's try now to get our data that in CSV format, since we already installed the package. So we're going to go to, you click on this, we're going to go to your package. We're going to go to your folder where you save all the files that you downloaded from Google. And I would like you to pick one of the files that is CSV. Okay, let's go back again. So before you use this read.r, you have to install the package. To do that, you click on package, click on install, and then you type. We need read.r package. Click on that, and then automatically you have to be connected to the internet. It will install for you. So when I was doing the clicking here, and when I started with package, install, update, and so forth, this is what happened. I could have written all what I've done here, I'll write for you automatically in your console. So you can copy this and you can paste this uh, in your this editor here. So now I don't have to go back again to package, install, and put the name of in other software package that I would like to install. So let's go back here and see. If I click on that, I need a library called read.xl, okay? So what I can do here, I can just copy this. I'll just replace this read.r with the package that I would like to install. So let me go back here again. For Excel, I need read Excel. Okay. So if I run this, it will install for me. Okay. I can do the same for SAS. So with SAS, SPSS, and Stata, they use only one library, one package, I think it's called Heaven. Let me click on this. Their package is called Heaven. So what we need to do and run this. So to make it easy for you, I'm going to copy this in the chat. And then what you just need to do is copy from the chat into your editor's window and run them, okay? So let me copy that in the chat. Okay, somebody say I should repeat how to install package. I will repeat. Okay, so there are two ways of installing packages. You can either write your own, you can either write install dot packages and you put the name of the package, or the name of the package in quotes. And then when you just run and then install for you. That's one way. But if you don't want to type this, you come to this lower right hand. You have file, you have plots, and then there's a package. Click on this package, the install will come. You can if you can either install, you can update. But since we are just starting, you have to click on install. Click on install, it will bring this window here. And make sure you're connected to the internet. And then you type the name of the package you would like to install. The first one that we installed was read. So it will automatically bring something like that and just click it on and install. So this is the easiest way to do it. But what I've done here, basically, R was doing for me in the background. That's why it appeared here. Okay. So what I could also do after running my first package, I can copy here. After installing my first package, I'm copy here, and then just the rest. Let me start here. So assume we didn't have this one. Okay. So now I can install Excel. You just highlight and run. Install. Okay. I can do the same. This is having and run. Okay. So that's how to install packages, because without them, you will not be able to import anything, or you're not able to do even your work. So first, you have to install the package. And then when you want to use the package, you use what's called library, and you put the name of the package. Let me go back to my slide where we had that. Okay, let me go back and repeat here when we're covering packages, okay? So the packages, these are a group of functions that perform specific tasks in R, such as data management, data analysis, and so forth. So the ones that we install is just for data management. It's how you import those file like in SAS, Stata, and so forth. So to install a package, you start install.packages and put the name of the package in. So for example, if you want to install dplyr, we click on install packages, dplyr in quotes, and then it will install for you. Then after installing, before you use that package or library, you have to load it. To load that package, you use the function called library, and then you put the name of the package that you want to run. So here we install a package called dplyr. Before we use dplyr, we have uh, to load it. To load dplyr, we just use library dplyr. So the difference is when you're installing package, you have to have a quote. But when you're loading, you don't have to have a quote on that. Okay. So let's continue here. So what we're going to do, we're going to do some practice here. We're going to load to import some data sets that you already downloaded from the Google Drive. So the Kenya agri-disease special is a CSV file. And then this one is an Excel file, the same name but different format. And you have this distributes data, SAS, and SPSS. And then also you have the recommendation, crop recommendation in CSV file and Excel file. So we're going to start by importing CSV file. Then we'll import the Excel file, then Stata, then SAS, and we'll finish with what? With SPSS. Okay. So let's go to our R Studio and try to import these files. Okay, let's do that together. Okay. So we're going to start with CSV file also. Import. And then you're going to look for the file. You're going to browse, and it's going to take you to your AI underscore training. I deleted mine with the data because I wanted to show practically how to get there. So give me some few minutes. I go to Google Drive and import all those files that you have imported, because the one that I had, I to delete it so that we can work together. So give me some few minutes. I go to the folder and import those. Then we go from there. Please. Okay, so I'm going to put all those in the one that I created. Okay, now we can go back to work here. Okay, let's start together, okay? So our studio is open. If you don't have 4 windows, do the same thing that we have been doing. Come here and show pane, okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to clean, I'm not going to save this. In my console. Okay, so let's start by importing comma separated value. So go to environment, go to Beacon data sets. So the first one is when you're importing text file, we need comma separated value. So we have to bring read R, okay? So click on that. You can see from here, the library has been called, but we now need to get the data set. Okay. So click on browse, take you to your AI underscore training folder, and we need comma separated value. With comma separated value. I didn't bring it, but you should be having one with CSV. I don't think I brought mine here. Let me check. So we are consistent here. Go to I need to go back to my okay. Okay, let's go back to our studio. Start again. So we're going to import our CSV file. Okay. So we have import. This is for CSV file. Click on that. And then you browse. You take it to AI underscore training, and then click on this. This is a CSV file. Okay, look at here. This name here, this is the name of the object. This is going to be our object. Okay. You can change the name, but I don't encourage people to do that. And then it will also show you the data, uh, the row and the columns. And the only thing that you need to do, click on import. So when you click on import, you can see now in our editor, script editor, you see your data, okay? And then under environment, this data, it tells you how many observation and how many variables. So this is, we imported our comma separated value. But as soon as it gets into other studio, it is assigned an object. And that object is the name of that data. So now you can do what? You can export it in any other format. Okay. So let's do this. Let's import CSV file. Then after that, we import Excel, and then we import Stata, and then SPSS, and then SAS. So that's the exercise we're going to do. So we first started with importing CSV file. Now we're going to go and import Excel. So Excel, you click on this, and then you browse and go pick Excel file. Okay, click on that. The name is going to be the same like the name of the first one, because the only difference we had was our extension. But as soon as you bring into our studio, it's not going to be Excel anymore. It's going to be our data set. So import this to get the same thing. So I'm going to give you at least 5 minutes. Let's import all of them. Start with the comma separated value. Do Excel. Do Stata. Do SPSS. Okay. So this is, if you click on this, it will tell Excel, SPSS, SAS. If you click on that, so let me help you here. So the ones that, if a file format that ends with SAV is SPSS. Okay. A file format that ends with DTA is Stata. And then a file format that ends with SAS is a SAS. So when you when you're importing your data set, uh, make sure you know the extension of each. So this one is SPSS file. This one is data, and this one is SAS. The Excel ones are straightforward. So let's do that. 5 minutes, and then we'll go to how do we export the data. Okay, if you succeeded, just type one in the chat to make sure we're all on the same page. Okay, the presentation will be sent this evening. Yesterday I sent one. Okay, so if you go to the folder, the Google folder, we have the presentation of yesterday. So every evening I will put all the presentation in the Google Drive. So Stata end with DAT, I think. Let me see. Stata ends with uh, Stata files end with I think DTA. Let me make sure here. The Stata files ends with DTA. Okay, so this is SPSS, Stata, and SAS. So every evening, you go to Google Drive, the notes are there, even those were yesterday are there. So the slides are there. Okay, so this one will be sent. Thank you. This one will be sent. Okay, another 2 minutes, then I'll show you how to export the data outside so you can use it in any format. Okay, so let's get back to our slides. So a base file is for importing text file. Somebody was asking what's a base file. It's for importing text file. Okay. So let me go back to my presentation here. This is what we did. This is what we did. Okay. So this is how you export file out of R. Okay. So for importing, you use read. For exporting, you use write. Okay. So when you assume a friend of yours gave you a SPSS file, but you don't have SPSS on your computer, what you can do, you can import that SPSS file, and then after that, you can export it in any format. If you want it to be in Excel or SAS or SPSS and so forth. Okay. But some of this library, you have to install them. For example, readr and Haven, they're okay. They can both import and export. But for Excel, you have to install another library called Write Excel. Okay. So for CSV, you just write, and then the first is the name of the object, the name of that file in R, and then in quote, you put what you're going to export and with the file format, but it has to be in quotes. Okay. So readr and Haven, you can both import and export. But for when you're exporting an Excel file, you need to install another package called Write Excel, because somebody who wrote the package for Excel was just, the first one was just to import, and then they have to write another one. Okay. So we are going to do this. We're going to import a crop underscore recommendation in Excel format. And then we're going to export in CSV format, in Excel format, in Stata format, and so forth. So when we load or import the crop underscore recommendation.xl, it will be, the object will be crop underscore recommendation. But now we can export using write.csv, and instead of keeping the same name, you're going to add _1 so that we don't confuse them. We're going to do the same for Excel, _1.xl, and so forth. Okay, can we do that? But before we do that, we need to install another package called write.xl. So this is what we're going to do together. We're going to go back to our R Studio. We're going to install one package, which is write Excel. And after that, we're going to import crop underscore recommendation.xl. And then after that, we're going to export the files in all these formats. Okay, let me repeat. To export the file, you use write. To import, you use read. When you're importing comma separated value, you use read dot underscore CSV. But now when you're exporting, you use write underscore CSV. And then the first will be the name of the object. And then the name of the file that's going to your computer has to be in quote with the extension. So let's go and do that together. My R Studio. Let me clean up this. I'm going to clean up this. I'm going to clean up that. I'm going to clean up this. Okay. So we're going to export crop underscore recommendation that is in Excel format. That's the first thing we're going to do. And then after that, we're going to install the software for Excel to be exported, because that without that, it will not work. So you go to environment, see my cursor, go to import from Excel. I'm going to browse. I didn't bring it. Let me bring it again. Sorry. Bear with me. I wish I didn't delete my folder, but for the sake of the class, I had to. I need to import this. It's this one. Okay. Let me put it in my folder. So next time I won't delete my folder because I have to do twice. Okay. I think we're in business now. So again, go to environment, go to Excel, browse, and this is our file. So automatically it gave it the name of the file. It's going to be our object, and then I'm going to import. So you can see that this is our file. It has 240 observations and 10 variables. Now, we're going to export this now. But before we do that, we have to install Excel package, because Excel it has a package for reading and a package for exporting. So how do we do that? Go to install, package, write, this one here, write Excel, and then we install. Okay, again, read Excel does not export your data, but the package read are for CSV file, and the package haven for Stata, for SAS and SPSS, that's both. Okay. So now we are ready to go. So I'm going to paste this script here in a chat. You can copy the script to make it easier for you. Do you see my screen, my other studio? So we imported an Excel file from our folder. But as soon as that Excel file was imported, it gave it a name, underscore recommendation. So this file here, you can now save it. We imported an Excel file, but we can now save that file in CVS format, in DTA format, SV format, and in SAS format. Okay. So to do that, so this is the name of our file, and it's going to be here. So we're going to start with CSV file, write underscore CSV, and this is the file that we want to to export. We imported this file.
Steven,
Yes.
Steven, just a moment.
Pardon?
think you, when you copied the syntax to the picture, to the syntax you copied from our studio was the picture,
Dr.
not
Jimmy, I
the
can't hear you
text.
very well.
Because you had said that participants can copy what you pasted in chat into our studio, but what you pasted there is actually
Can, can you write it in chat because I'm not getting you. You're
you
cutting off.
can't hear me.
No, I can hear you now.
You can't hear me.
Okay. Yeah, now I can hear you. Go ahead.
Steven, you can't hear
Dr.
me.
Jimmy, I was not hearing you, but now I can hear you. You go ahead. You go ahead and talk. Hello? Can you write on the, okay, can you write what you have been saying in chat? Oh, it's an email. Okay, sorry. It's an image, not a text. Okay.
I'm saying that you asked
Okay. I got
participants
it now.
to,
Okay, I got it. Let me try this.
you asked participants that they can
So this one should be now a text.
use, you asked participants that they can,
Can you type?
okay,
Is this okay now? Let me know if you are able to, to bring the file in and save it in different file format. Can you type one in the chat if you were successful? Let me go back and repeat. So what we're going to do is in the beginning, we're going to import an Excel file, this one here, and then automatically it's going to be given that name crop underscore recommendation. So this is the one that this is no longer an Excel file. This is an R object. It's now an R object with 240 observation and 10 variables. Now we can export this in any of these file format. In CSV file format, Excel, Stata, do Stata here. SAS has to, uh, so let me know if we're successful. importing and exporting. How are we doing? Are we succeeding? So if you have imported uh, the Excel file and you are able to export in all these formats, just type for me one in the chat because I don't want to leave anybody behind. Okay. So I'm going to give another 2 minutes. So I will also send you I will also upload the script that we've been discussing. So just keep the Google Drive. So every evening, maybe before, after 8, all the information that you've covered will be there. We will have extra files there, but don't download the ones that I haven't told you to download yet. Okay? Okay, so we have a few minutes left. I'm going to show you how do you manipulate these files here. How do you manipulate this object? How do you manipulate them? So basically, when you import a file, especially in AI, you have to do some preliminary. Somebody needs the Google Drive. Okay, give me a minute here so I can share my Google Drive. Okay. Let me see if I find it here. So there's a Google Drive. It's in the chat and done. Okay, so let's go back to our R Studio. So what do you do after importing this your data to R Studio? So let me save this. I will. I'll give you. I'll I'll create a script and upload it there. So let me start again from zero here. I have this Excel file that I'm going to import. So there are a few things we can do with this Excel file. The first thing we can do is we can do summary statistics. Okay? And then you put the name of your object. So if you run this, it will give you basically the summary statistics. Okay. For nitrogen, the minimum is 250, the first quartile, and so forth. So this is very, very important when you're working with the AI or statistics. So the function called summary will summarize for you everything about this data. So it's a crop data with the length 240. You have a class character and mode. So you can see from here minimum, maximum for each variable. Okay. So to do that, you use this summary function. So the summary is a function. So it gives you the mean, the median, the first quartile, third quartile, and so forth. So this function summary, and then you put the name of your data. of your data sets. Okay. Another thing that you can do view. Okay. When you run that, enter, it'll give you, basically, it gives you the data frame. Okay. Then put it here, view. It will give you the data to take a look. Another thing that you can do is you can see the first six row. You use what's called head. If I run that, I get the first six row. You see at the bottom here. If I would like to see the last six row, I use a function called tail. So the top one, if you look at the console here, the top one, the top part is the first six row. The tail gives the last six row. What about if you want to see the first 10 rows? What you do? And then you put the number, you put tail, the last 10 row tail. That would be the last 10 row. And if you want to see the first 10 row, the 10 rows, okay? Those are the few things you can do. So I think we've run out of time. I would like to get back to Dr. Jimmy, and tomorrow pick up from here. Dr. Jimmy, back to you. So I will do what? I will put the slides tonight. I'll also put some of these scripts for you to practice. Thank you. Dr. Jimmy, back
Yeah,
to you.
yeah, thank you, Stephen, for the last 2 hours. Maybe before I bring in the participants for a Q&A, I think at the beginning our objective was to show how you can use R and QGIS. So I don't know, could we go up to the end of ARSA tomorrow when we start to look at QGIS? How much more
Yes,
do we need to get?
tomorrow look at QGIS, yes.
So are we done with all we need with R to be able to
The
import
thing,
and
a
export?
few things that are done, I wanted to run regression and logistic regression. So we can do that in the morning.
Okay.
Then we go to QGIS, yes.
Okay, fine. I think also you may have to go through this bit of exporting. I think some participants have still some challenges about exporting. I think we will start about exporting data from R.
Okay. So we
Then
do that.
yeah, yeah. Do you want to repeat that?
Okay, I can repeat
Or
that. If they have time, I can repeat that.
I think you can repeat that process of exporting data.
Okay. So let me. So this library here, I'm going to write here, this library, read R. This is for comma separated value. And then the library called Haben. Haben is for SAS, Theta, and SPSS. So these ones you can import, and you can export. But Excel, this one is only for reading. Let me put here. This one reads, this one reads, and export. comma separate the value files. This one read, and export, SAS, data, and SPSS. Okay. So for Excel to be exported, you need okay. So we already installed this, so we can run that, can run that, can run that, can run those. Okay, now, so we're going to read, we're going to read let's just put import to be proper. Import in an Excel file. Recommendation. Recommendation. So we're going to do that. So you look at I'm going to go to import, Excel, browse, this one here. So as right now, I'm importing an Excel file. As soon as I import, it becomes an R object. This is now an R file. It's no longer an Excel file. So now I can export this file in either any of those, either SAS, SPSS, data, or even CSV file. So this is where this now comes in. So we start with, we're going to, so let me put that importation here, so that, because I'm going to share this script with you. So this is how we imported this. So we use read underscore Excel. So this is now our object. So anything that has an hash will not be read by R. These are just notes. Now we're going to export, export this one. Okay, so let me go to my notes here. So since I don't want to, I don't want everything. So this one, right, dot underscore CSV will export this. So this is what we are exporting, okay? And this is the new file that will go to your folder. So remember we imported this using Excel. Okay, so now when I run this, it will go, it will be saved as what? As an Excel file, as a CSV file. This one here. This one is CSV format. Okay. I'm not going to do Excel, it's the same thing because that's the file that's be brought. So this is stator. So when I run this, it'll be same as stator. So I decided to put it _1 so that at least the files are not the same there. So this one is SPSS. Just to run this. And this is SAS. And this also SAS. Okay, so this is giving me warning. Warning is not very bad, but it's telling you that it's depreciated. That means that they're no longer using it. I just want to put this here. Warning, if it was an error, then would be problem. But always error tells you that, okay, this is not deprecated. That means deprecated means they're no longer being maintained, because this is how people who use R get their packages or libraries. Somebody's doing something and then uh, they don't have anything, so they write these packages. Then you send them to cran. There are a few things that they do, but one requirement is you have to maintain that almost every 2 months. So some people become lazy, and then after that they are deprecated. That means they remove them. Okay, so this one I'm going to put a hash here, and also I'm going to put a notes here. And I'm going to put notes here so that when you get your when you download this script, you know why I put a hash there, because it's no longer being maintained. So it has to be, eventually they'll remove it from the packages. So Dr. Jimmy, this help? Hello?
Yes,
Yeah.
Stephen. Yeah, I think this is okay. We can actually end here,
Okay.
and then we continue tomorrow. But before
Yeah.
we end, maybe we can ask the participants to give us some feedback on today's presentations. Members, could you please give us some feedback before we close? Okay. Because the question would be, why are we doing all this? We are not trying to make you uh, programmers, but because we said at the beginning, we said for effective AI application to give us solutions, we need data, but this data has to be present in different formats, in different, we have to understand the data. We have to do what I think Dr. Steven was talking about, exponential data analysis. And R is a good tool. You can do statistical analysis. Like tomorrow, it says going to do regression to establish relationship between different data sets. You can do data visualization, plots. I hope maybe you could show us how you can make plots in R. And then it provides a platform for building and evaluating machine learning models using various R packages. And then uh, it will be also handy to be able to do general project management when we eventually dive into the AI programming and getting more other solutions from AI. So we are like making building blocks for us to be able to understand where we're going. R basically is handy that is able to communicate with various, it can give different file formats to be able to communicate with other softwares. And that's why we're doing all these members.
Okay,
I would like, yes, please.
to add into that, if you're doing data science, software like Excel will not do it. It cannot manage. Even Stata, even SaaS is applicable. But when you're using very heavy modules, and then you have all these data sets, like some of them like millions of lines, some of this software cannot use them. It's either R or Python. That's why we are doing this. So if you are doing AI, the easiest is to use R or Python because other software are expensive, and then Excel and other common software like Stata, it's very hard for them to manipulate some of this data. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Stephen. So, for you who have taken long without doing programming, yes, maybe a bit challenging, but we hope that actually we also hope that when you go back in the evening, go back to the Google Drive and do some bit of practice. Practice with this R Studio. Use the syntax that has been shared, which Stephen promised to share with us. So play with it and see different platforms. And tomorrow we'll be able to continue with R before we go to QGIS. So now we are basically in flight mode. We are now going to the projects tomorrow. So at least maybe our objective by the end of tomorrow, we have a project that's a little bit complete that can can show us some bit of AI solutions by the end of tomorrow. So let us log in a little bit earlier so that we start on time because we only have 2 hours a day. For now, I will hand you to the secretariat so that they can give us, maybe they have announcements, they can make announcements. Otherwise, this is all from me. I don't see any hands in chat. Probably you have nothing to ask, but maybe also you are still internalizing this information. Engineer Gordon, please go ahead and ask your question.
Thank you. I don't know if you can get me.
We can get you.
Thank you, sir. I think thank you for this introduction, and I think you have been able to get some key steps, like the other person suggested. We will have more time. Matter. The challenge I'm seeing is that the time that was allocated 2 hours for this session is really small. I think if it would take steady course for some minutes tomorrow, thank you.
Yes, so you're saying that can we extend maybe by 30 minutes? Already we've extended now, even today we are now into 30 minutes. But I think what's important is start on time. And obviously, they wouldn't like to leave. Won't leave you in suspense. We have to complete so at least you're able to proceed and use it. For now, let us try and manage what we have, the time that has been allocated to us. But we will not leave you in suspense. So we will try and make sure that if it requires us to get another extra 1 hour, 30 minutes, we can actually find it and then have something that is meaningful. Great. Please, I sent back to Ali. Stephen, you have something to say?
Engineer Gordon, he was the one talking?
Yes,
Okay,
please.
thank you. I thought because his hands were. No, I'm okay. I mean, he's right. I mean, 2 hours is really a stretch, but I will do my best. And also, I would like you to know you cannot become a programmer in only 1 week. It's just to give you some basic of where to start from. Really, I've been doing this for a long time. Thank you.
Yes, Secretariat, please take over. For us, I think we're closed. Alex, Kizito?
Yes, as engineer. Good evening and good evening, everyone. Thank you,
Good evening.
everyone who has really participated in this. I've been following it from the background, and I think the flow was very clear. And the same we shall do it tomorrow. Thank you, the facilitators. As you said, we cannot learn this in one day, but the introduction is of great importance. You cannot do anything before starting. And I'm very proud of you, Doctor, for the wonderful jobs you are doing, and the colleagues. This is the thing that we need to practice. And the little you pick now, please, you can go ahead and do the practice as we wait for another session for tomorrow. My concern is about the time of logging in. Let us plan in such a way that we start at exactly 4, because this week, the link is so busy. Actually, there are already people waiting to join for using this very Zoom link. So if we start at exactly 4, it gives us enough time for us to digest and within the 2 hours that has been allocated for this link. So members and participants, kindly tomorrow, let us by 4, we are starting and we maintain that 4. I wish everyone a blessed evening. See you all tomorrow.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.